that is how I now feel driving the HiAce, and I'm so surprised.
It's 2024. That means 40 years that I've been exploring the world's most remote places in four-wheel drives, in association with the Overland Workshop.
The more I drive it, the more I enjoy it. This is the first time I've taken it on open road. So far about 3 hours, about an hour to our destination, and just sitting in the car and just driving on a long run. The whole idea of this trip, short trip with Heiner.
Finally off-road again, and we've already got the first bog hole. There must have been a lot of rain here recently.
Is so that I can get used to the vehicle and kind of start understanding it. Because we are going to now sit and design the interior. We went to the US in 2023 to the Overland Expo West, focusing on what people were doing with vans. And in the US, they've got so much experience. Not that we don't have experience in Australia.
And we both consider the US to be world leaders when it comes to equipping the interior of vans. Not that we'll be taking all our inspiration from what we see in America.
Table. The way it's mounted to the side can completely get out of the way. It's movable.
So this now becomes a sitting area for 3 or 4 people.
Yes, quite easily.
And as I'm driving it, I thought that I would be making massive compromises over the troop carrier in terms of its on-road drivability. I thought it would be top heavy and all leany and lanky and loose. It's not.
And there is a chance that if you have got a seat set up like that you can make that into a third bed. So you can quite easily sleep 3 people, maybe even 3.5. Because it will enable them to go camping with one vehicle.
It's more comfortable and easier to drive on the open road than Troopy. I did not expect that. Yes, there will be compromises off-road. I know that. I've established that those compromises off-road are not significant. Not significant when it comes to the kind of touring and driving I do. If you're into extreme off-road, then I would probably say, look, no. Troopy has got a ladder frame chassis, and it's got solid axles, and it's gonna be better than this off-road. I know that. But look at look at everything else. Now some of you are gonna say, yeah, but you're building a Troopy. Yes, I am building a Troopy. At the moment, I'm lucky enough to have 2 active builds in my workshop. Actually, not in my workshop. I've got one in my workshop, and the other one I'm about to start, and I hope it fits in my workshop. Now, this is the most exciting thing that I've done in decades, this van. Every single part not only has to be developed, but we're making it better, cleverer, smarter than anything in the industry before. And I can make this thing to look good, because you know the interesting thing is that making a four-wheel drive look good is actually quite easy. Tall wheels, raised, the stance is beautiful. We just have to get rid of that hideous front end. So the main difference between this and say a troop carrier is not just its size. They're both vans, but what makes the troop carrier difficult to deal with is that it doesn't have one of these. That means access is only from the back. Those 2 narrow doors. It's a narrower vehicle, far narrower than HiAce. But this changes everything. So the concept is this. Because of access from the side, because of the extra width, because of the extra height, we can build a 2-story Troopy. It'll be the first time anybody's ever used the expression, she's in the tent upstairs. A demonstration now of car builders' sound dampening mats. So, Did you hear that?
Did put the sound deadening stuff everywhere in the door where we could actually access the door. We probably added, what, a kilogram of weight tops, but...
Listen to the difference. It's like a Maybach. It's very satisfying to drive. I think that's because it's new for me. It's not same old, same old. It's kind of, I'm getting used to a new vehicle, experiencing the new vehicle. And the full-time all-wheel drive system, it's the best of all worlds, full-time, honestly, it just is. A four-wheel drive vehicle with locked center, you'll have restricted steering, not severely restricted, but to a point, a little bit restricted steering. This is going to be a bump. Oh, shit. Yeah, I heard a really, really, really loud bang. I'm going to check the car.
Righty, I'm going to stop you.
It was hidden by mud, but it was a wall. The wheel hit it really hard. The car still looks fine. Wow, okay. It was a vertical step. I hit that step there.
A conclusion that I did come to on this drive was that the shock absorbers in standard form are not good enough. Some work is needed to find an upgrade.
What happened, Andrew?
I misjudged. There's a vertical step about this high, and the wheel hit it. Both left wheels hit it, and both left wheels bottomed on the suspension. And made a very, very loud bang. It wasn't a boomph, it was a bang. You understand the difference?
Yeah, I understand the difference of booms and bang.
We believe that there are 3 significant stages to successful product development. Stage 1 is behind us. We have the idea, the concept, and the platform, and we know it's good. Now we need to learn what it's like to live with a van, not driving it, but camping with it. It's not the same as a ute or station wagon or even a troop carrier, because it has that wonderful slide opening door, and that changes everything.
I'm going to be sleeping in there tonight because, well, I'll be the first one to sleep in the back of the van.
You'll be the first one to sleep in here.
And we're trying to work out what the ergonomics would be. So we're talking about having a kitchen here. The logic would be to have a kitchen at the sliding door. But I don't think that's the best thing to do.
I think in the back would be a lot better, because then you don't have to cook inside, because who wants to cook a steak inside where you're sleeping?
And we are building a vehicle for camping outside and escaping inside in the event of bad weather, but it's an outside cooker.
Yeah.
It's an outside kitchen.
It is, yeah, absolutely.
And one of the things with a troop carrier is that with the opening side doors, people cook or plan to cook with a troopy opening, and that's a bad idea. The reason for that is there's 2 of you, then you're in the way. You've got a door here, you've got a door here, you're cooking, the smell goes inside the vehicle, and if somebody else now wants to go inside or out of the troopy, because you don't have a side thing,
in the way.
You're always in the way. So Good and I would always cook on the side tables.
So you can still get in and get stuff that you need for cooking in case you have
Yes.
to get in and out again.
With this, with the side door, to me, logically, that's access. Don't block it with a kitchen.
No. That's where you go in.
But have a fridge there.
Yes, because you want to be able to access the fridge in bad weather on the inside as well.
Yes.
That's important.
Or if you're camped, quickly, without even opening the back if necessary.
You can still get to the fridge easily.
Yes.
But you can still get a little induction cooker and put an oven on the inside to heat things up, make a pizza that you get out of the freezer, because we can do these things.
Yes.
But if you really want to cook, you just pull something out the bag, and you've got induction cookers, you got a little sink here.
Yes.
You can have a big drawer here that comes out where you got all your cooking utensils, so you got it all in one place. And even if you get both of them out at the same time, you can just walk around, get to that drawer, grab what you need, go back to your kitchen. I think that would quite easily work.
I think so. And the kitchen only needs to take up this much because you don't need access here at all. You're not climbing in the vehicle here.
No.
You're climbing in the vehicle there.
This is the outside living part, and you
Yes.
it will give us the opportunity to put something up the top here where we have a dirty storage area, where we can have chainsaws, firewood, all these sort of things you never want to have inside a car. We can make a compartment up the top where all these things go that you usually never want to put inside. And when the door closes, it's sealed off from the rest of the vehicle, because we don't have to be able to see out the back of the vehicle. We can just put a camera here that looks out the back
Yes.
window,
Yes.
replace the rear view mirror.
Yes,
We don't need to see out the back of the vehicle. It's absolutely not necessary.
not necessary.
And it also separates all the cooking smells, all the insects. When you're cooking out here, you can have a fly screen there, and it's sealed from the rest of the van. You cook here, you do all your outside stuff in the back here, but you go in there and you can have a bed, you can have the sleeping up the top. 2 stories.
So sleeping up the top is the story we'll catch probably tomorrow when we discuss it, but that's a different, it's a 2-story, it's double story. 2 people sleep below, 2 people sleep up top. We'll get to that. We'll get to that later.
And you can have a light right there. That will not just illuminate the kitchen for you, it will also illuminate the whole area around here. Just one single national lunar light up there.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
We might even be able to have some little storage area up the top here as well, because there's a lot of room in there.
That's probably hollow.
It is, and we don't have to keep that ugly panel. We can actually put quite a nice panel on there. You can have little things like, your kitchen roll. You have to be tall enough though.
Yeah. Gwyn won't like you for that one.
Nah, probably not. We can always give her a little stepping stool.
Not quite tall enough. Okay. Right. Yeah, I'm starting to see this.
And awning. Wrapped all the way around from that side to here. So even when it's raining, you can, all this area here from the side door to the back of the van, you'll be under cover.
And I think it's probably going to need that Bush Company 270 Max, because we want to make sure it wraps right around the slider.
Absolutely.
Will it not be too high though? Might be a little high to, not so much, I'm talking about putting it out and stretching it out and putting it away. It's going to be higher than, say, troop carrier.
We could even, if we really needed to, space it out a little bit, because we don't have a door that opens up.
That's
We just
true.
have a sliding
We just
door.
have the slider.
So it could just sit here and not even be that high at
That
all.
would be smart.
But it might hit that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will hit that. It will hit that.
It will hit that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we have to think about that again.
Okay. Good morning. I have woken up to pouring rain. In fact, the rain has been falling almost all night, which is quite fitting actually. I did not have a comfortable night. The mattress I brought along was far too thin given the corrugated floor pan. But this morning what we're going to do is try and get a camera under the shelter there, pointed in the back here, and explain what we're going to do with this area here, the living area. And then a little bit more about the sleeping area, which is a revolutionary look. And I don't think anybody's done what we're planning in a van before. Maybe they have. And I am, of course, taking advantage of the whole point of having a van is that in lousy weather you can protect yourself from it.
I just checked the weather forecast again, and it's changed a lot. It's now supposed to hammer down 40 mil of rain within the next 4 hours. So all these little creeks we went through, they'll have a fair bit of water in it later on, I think. And the water crossings as well.
Yeah.
On the way through, where you saw the washouts on the road?
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Thanks for the coffee.
Oh, I'm glad I brought my manliest coffee cup available.
The Skyler's coffee cup.
Ah, it's 21st century, Andrew. I can have a pink coffee cup.
Yeah, you think. I'm glad you think so. I'm very comfortable with my masculinity. I'm just not comfortable with yours.
You're not the only one.
From our videos we shot at Expo West, we learnt about floor pans.
Yeah. It's the biggest thing that I took away from there. That modular floor, so things can be moved around. And the whole floor, it's like an insert made. See, all of that is alley. So it's probably a whole floor section that goes in, and then you bolt everything else to it.
Absolutely brilliant.
Even that seat that we're planning, it will be mounted to that floor, and the way that I've looked at it, it should be removable within 5 to 10 minutes. So if you want to make this into a two-seater for a long trip, you can remove that, and then you can use this area here as storage for your bike or storage in general. You don't need to have that seat here all the time because everything's integrated into it. So when you remove it, you remove the seat belts at the same time.
Yeah. I'm going to talk briefly about the bench seat here. So the idea with this build is that we're actually creating something that is for 4 people to go touring. 2 kids, 2 adults.
Yeah. Or 2 adults, 1 adult. You still get 2 adults, but they have to like each other a lot to sleep in that bed.
Yes. Yes. That's okay. The bench is engineered. The floor is engineered. The bench seat is engineered. It has seat belts built into it, and then folds out into a day bed, chill out bed, or bed for 2 people to sleep on.
This is where the backrest will roughly be. There was tape on here before, so if we could get some dimensions, it would be about 1 meter wide roughly, and it folds over to the front, and then the backrest folds down, and you got a nice long bed on the side here. And it should take about 30 seconds to set it up, and then we can leave some storage area behind the seat where the seat usually folds down, and we can use that to put all the bedding stuff. Just stuff it behind the seat, so there'll just be an area that'll be empty, and then you can just take the bedding, put it in there, and then hopefully I've seen there's a product so we can swivel the seats around, take the center console out so the seats can actually swivel. It's a full plate with a handbrake relocation kit, armrests for the seats.
Needs those.
On the left hand side at least for the driver.
Yeah.
And right hand side for the passenger. And it's already pre-engineered, so that there's a company in Perth that I think can help us with all of that.
So the end result would be 2 people to chill or work out in these 2 work from these 2 seats. Some kind of table here that we want to be able to fold away and pull out.
That is not a bad idea. Look at the table.
Table.
Yes.
So sitting here and doing some work or something on a computer, or even chilling with the table down.
Yeah.
2 people there, 2 people here.
Yeah. Window there.
And put a window in there. Yes.
And ideally a gull wing in here. So we can have shower and hoses, compressor outlets all in a gull wing on this side when we cut this section out.
Yeah. Again, we have to have that made.
Yes.
No such thing exists.
Doesn't exist.
So quite a few of these things do exist.
Yeah.
But that kind of thing doesn't.
No.
So the bed arrangement also well, it's taken from the Troopy Alucab headspace type, where the bed folds down, so the roof goes up. There is my bed, and it's already made. It's ready for me to just climb up and sleep in, giving you head room here, and the bed. So likewise, so we don't have to have a bed down here. We have a bed up at roof height. That's the bed, like in the Troopy.
Yeah.
And then the roof lift means that you can stand here.
But if I look at this, the finish is fantastic in this roof conversion.
Yeah.
It's full height.
I wouldn't do floors. Cabinetry, countertops are fine.
It is a nice finish.
It is a very nice finish.
That's the ideal scenario. I mean, we still have to check, like we talked about this before, if that would even work, because now this isn't a ladder frame, like you said before, and at this stage we haven't even checked what part we can cut out of the roof without actually...
No, we don't know.
Cutting into the integrity of the whole body itself. That's still a big unknown. If you got a bed in the back, you don't necessarily need all the height there. If you just got one that pulls up in the front,
that would be sufficient. It would actually. Yes.
But that's for Ollie to find out.
You can see the way the body is actually constructed. It's far heavier than a troop carrier body because it needs to have structural integrity in the shell. So I'm just looking at the strength of the beams and the things. It's not as easy as cutting a troop carrier roof off.
Oh no.
This is going to need some more engineering.
Well, what I'm hoping is that the structure of the roof is on the outside of the roof, and there's probably another structural part at the B pillars. I reckon they're part of the safety when you have a rollover or something like that.
Yes.
But I think that this part from behind the seats all the way back here is probably just tin roof, and I hope we can cut on the inside of that.
Yeah.
Not sure yet. We'll have to.
If we can't, it changes everything.
Yeah, then we have to start from scratch.
What not to do?
What not to do? Have your cooker here, and then have a drawer on top of it where you probably got things in that you want to be using for cooking.
The other, what I had not seen before, but you had lightweight storage containers attached high up for clothes and really light stuff.
Ideally, these here would have in a way that they're easily removable, so you can take them inside your house. You have them, you keep them inside the house when you're not camping, and then when you're starting to prepare for a trip, you can pack your clothes and everything you want to take, dried food, put it all in these, put them in your camper, hang them up where they need to live, and then you start going. And then when you're done, all the stuff that you want to take back out, you put back into these bags, take it in your house, and preparing for a trip works like that.
I love that idea because you're using all of the which is normally difficult, the upper part is less easy to use.
And I think this part here, from here to here, you can have a shelf all the way across that's accessible from the inside. In my camper trailer I'm using boxes, they're called Sky Tracks. They're 300 something by 300, they're cubes. I think we can get 4 or 5 of them in here. You can pack your clothes, and it's very easy to set up your camper because everything is always in those cubes that you can take with you.
I love those ideas. Dirty washing, out it comes.
Yeah.
Doesn't contaminate clean washing, and now you've put all your clean washing in it, and it gets swapped over, and it's just so easy. I love that idea.
But I wouldn't do this type of, I would do a different one, but I would do a bench top, not just alley. I would have some sort of, like in the kitchen, like a laminated bench top. I think it adds a lot of value to it.
I felt that a lot of the vans in the US were prettied up to make it look like a kitchen. I think that was probably one of the sales things that they take advantage of, like, because after all, women buy houses by virtue of the kitchen and bathrooms, and men buy houses by virtue of the workshop space. And maybe I'm generalizing, but same with this kind of thing.
That's all about Instagram to me.
Yes,
it's all about Instagram and
those kitchens, beautiful tops.
Don't. If GVM really isn't a problem, hey?
Beautiful taps.
See, now this one, all the storage space is basically gone.
Some of those beautiful taps on the roads that we do in Australia are going to be rattled to pieces. They're not going to survive.
Absolutely. They're made for houses. They're not made for vibrational environments.
So what's our approach going to be to that kind of thing?
I think there's 2 main concepts coming up here. It's either sitting in the back or it's sitting in the front. And that changes a lot of things around depending on which way you do that. My approach, my idea was that We're not gonna build a van like everybody else builds a van. We're gonna build a van like we build a troopy. You know, because the troopy was never meant to be a van build. A troopy was always this more rugged, go everywhere vehicle, where you live more on the outside. You can still retreat to the inside if you have to because the weather is rubbish, but if the weather is rubbish for more than a day or two, you usually go somewhere else.
Absolutely.
So it's an outside living vehicle, because even in these conditions in Australia, everything's open. We can still live outside. If we had an awning there right now, a kitchen to pull out the back, we would still be outside. We'd probably move closer to the fire, light that up again, and you could just sit there all day if you want to.
The best part about my troopy, well, one of the great parts is that I can chill in it.
Yeah.
I can have a lie down and chill. You've got a bed there, you can have a lie down on the bed and chill. But you also a little place to sit. Swivel one of the front chairs, sit down with a small bench, you can work. We have a chat. Make a copy and have a chat. Kitchen bit close to the bed for me.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be cooking a steak in here.
Oh, this is a climb up. That's the bed. That's a four. It's a
there's another bed there.
There's another bed.
But you don't necessarily have to be on the inside all the time in Australia. It's not like camping in Canada, where you want to make sure that you can actually be inside and do everything inside
and close up
and turn the heater on and everything. It's not necessary, because even when you go places here where it's cold, you can still do things outside. And it's one of the cool things about camping in Australia, that you can be outside.
Most of Australia, not all, of course.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. We do get snow in Australia. No, not in Western Australia, but certainly in New South Wales and Victoria, they get snowstorms.
This is handy. If you're Michael Jordan.
Fixed bed. Oh, we don't have this height. The bed is up there because of the roof conversion. The bed is up top, so you lift the roof, and that's where you sleep, troopy-like.
Yeah.
And then all of the interior is used for living space.
I think the fridge, where that was located, we saw a few of the vans that had the fridge, an upright fridge located at the sliding door, so you can access that from the inside and the outside. I really like that idea.
I think that's important. It's important. Troopy fridges were always priority accessible from outside, but you can access them from inside. It's a bit fiddly, but you can.
Yeah.
But here, it has to be equally easy for both. But we can do it by putting it here.
And I think when we have the inside living quarters here, we need to be able to cook a quick meal in bad weather. Have like a single hop induction cooker that we can pull out the kitchen off the back and just cook on the table here. Have access to the fridge while you're inside, and have a little oven. Like a travel buddy, but because we're building such a big electrical system with a massive inverter, we can just have a normal household oven. Not the big ones, but you know, the ones that are microwave and an oven and everything just in once. And I think that should sit behind, slightly on top of that fridge somewhere there. So you got a little area where you can cook on if you really want to, on top of that fridge and on the table. So you can have a makeshift kitchen in here. And have some water as well. I was thinking on the back of that gull wing, maybe have a little tap where you can fill up water bottles and just get access to water if you really need to.
Because the water, our plumbing is going to basically be on the right side of the vehicle.
Yes.
Because the shower's on that side, the kitchen washing up area is on that side. But I like that idea of some way of getting water from the inside of the car.
Filtered water where you can ideally, you know, if you're in here, I'm seeing this as weather's bad, you're inside, you can play board games or cards or whatever and just chill on the inside. You could probably even watch a movie if you put a laptop or something on that fridge if you really wanted to, and you can just relax in here. And then you probably need access to water, you need access to the fridge if you want to make a quick snack. You can throw something into the oven. You can actually live here. Somebody could be chilling upstairs
right now. That's the idea. We could be sitting here chilling.
Yeah.
In this area, obviously, and there could be somebody snoozing upstairs.
Yeah.
And that's the what we have in mind.
With us building this van is that there's the troopy building scene and there's a van building scene. And most of the vans are quite polished, you know, everything's very nice.
Very Instagrammy.
Timber,
Yes.
flowers on the table.
Yes.
You know, and troopies are more of a rugged approach usually. And I think we can combine these two worlds together and get the most out of both of them to build a proper overlanding van. Not a travel around with surfboards on the roof. Not that there's something wrong with that, but you know, that Instagram van life thingy. But
Yes.
rather do the troopy van life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't think there's an approach like that to vans. Because I've had a look around and I can't find vans like that.
And I know why. Because they're not proper off-roaders.
If the van would be set up right now, we'd be sitting in there, making breakfast, looking over the valley rather than be out in the rain. Awning on top of us, you could go in and around. Can't wait for the van.
Time to head off home. This should be fun.
Whoa, we are drenched. The rain suddenly just started coming down. Just as when we were thinking, yeah, maybe we should pack up and leave. The heavens really opened. So I got completely drenched. You learn about a new car when I closed the tailgate, the upper tailgate at the back, and as I tilted it down, I realized, bad idea. A lot of the water hit me, but not all of it did. But anyway, I did get pretty wet. So I won't be making that mistake again. We're now going to drive out of here, and I'm expecting the road to be extremely slippery. But something occurred to me. There are no recovery points that I have seen on this van, so I can't afford to get stuck. Just getting it out would be, well, we'd just have to rely on the Max Tracks, but I don't have my wet weather gear with me, so I don't want to get wet. Stuck. Right. I'll let Heiner go first because he's got the maps. Ah, dear, oh dear. So much fun. Right. Cool.
Yeah, that's the track in front of you somewhere there, I think. Good enough. We were yesterday.
Oh, this is soft. You can overtake me.
Ooh, I did see that. Holy shit, don't get off the track.
Who would have thought leaving would be such an adventure again?
Brilliant, I love it. Absolutely love it.
Look at that!
Oh,
That
cool.
is actually flooded. Can you see how long that is?
Yeah.
It doesn't look very deep, but
It's rolling.
alright.
All right.
I suppose we'll find out.
Yeah. You go first. Don't get stuck. I'll bring the van through.
Don't get stuck.
Don't get stuck.
Don't get stuck.
You get that little squirt of adrenaline the moment the car goes. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. And that car, that's always the moment I actually press the accelerator to give it a bit more.
So Heiner's now covered him. He's got his raincoat over the camera, standing in the middle of the track to get the shot. All in the cause of art. A nice even speed. Don't go into a lower gear. Stay in a low gear. Stay in a low gear. There you go. Well, our morning continues. We are not out of it yet. And this thing is proving itself again and again and again. Every time we drive it, it just gets a little bit better. It was better on the open road. It's fabulous, it's fantastic. I don't have any problem with the seats whatsoever. The seats are far better than they are in the 70 series. I sweat a little bit in them, so a seat cover is going to be needed. the ability of the vehicle to get through rough stuff, its clearance, the controllability, the feel. The steering is a bit numb, it is, but generally I love this thing. It's better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it would be, yeah, it's better than that. It's better than, yeah. Actually, really nice. So think about the cost of this vehicle. Price. You could buy this for the same price as similar price, okay, give or take, $5,000 here or there, than a basic spec, maybe middle to basic spec Land Cruiser 300, middle to basic spec Ineos Grenadier. You could buy this as you're seeing it now, with the four-wheel drive system, big tank, a few other bits and pieces. To now build this vehicle up to the standard of a troop carrier, and a really nicely equipped troop carrier, would cost about the same as a troop carrier. So at the end of the day, I reckon, and we will be able to present quite accurate accounting of what we spent and what you might spend once we've done it. But I think that we're going to be very close to a fully equipped troop carrier is going to be very, very similar cost to a fully equipped HiAce 4-wheel drive. Not a big difference in the amount of money one's going to spend, and that amount of money will be between $170,000 and $200,000.
Hold on there, I'll film you a little bit.
Good parking, Andrew.
We've stopped for coffee, not a bath.
Jump.
No, because I have to jump. No, I'm going to park somewhere else. I don't want to get my socks wet. I've got all 4 hours to drive home with wet socks.